Welcome again everyone for the second part of the muzzle brake testing video we got on the Canadian Precision Shooting YouTube channel. Alright, so on the second video, not only we added a different muzzle brake to the line we had, we also added a different test. So first of all, we did the same linear bench muzzle brake testing the same way as we did in the first video, but we did it with both the 6 Creedmoor case and the 223 Remington case, running the 75 ELD match at 2850 feet per second. Then we also did the barricade test with the 223 case to see if some brakes perform differently with more or less gas, both on the linear and on the muzzle movement, like we did in the first video, but with second cartridge. Then we've put some tension to the buttstock, which I wanted to do since day one, to simulate someone that is loading his rifle on a props, to see how the gun will react. You will see in a minute, the results were far from what I was expecting at the beginning. For the muzzle brake, we added the MPA, the original one, and we got a prototype they're actually secretly testing right now. Yeah, you heard it right. We got our hand on one of those brake. Thank you to Phil Cashin for that. That is actually being tested by the MPA teams. We've also added a new prototype from Spearhead. I think this one's the Gen 2. They sent the Gen 3 to compare between what they've been doing since the beginning and see if they can improve the design of the brake itself. And I actually don't know if they're gonna go in production, but it's worth taking a look at them and let those two companies knows what you guys think about their new profile. So we can go through the result of the new brakes really quickly, and instead of passing over all of the tests, I will go straight to the cool parts, the conclusion I've made, the 3 conclusions I've made over them, and at the end, for those who really like the table and data, I'll show all the information collected during the second testing day. So for the Spearhead, we got the Gen 1, we got the Gen 2 and the Gen 3. The Gen 2 didn't provide any exciting result over the Gen 1. It's not as bad, it's not worse, it's not better, but the Gen 3 on his side really got quite a good improvement over the first generation. So it's not quite a big improvement, but still, you see, they've made a lot of change in design, and well, it gave a bit of result. For the MPA, we haven't tested on the first day because it didn't show up in time, but putting it on the sled, on the second day, we've put all the brakes on the sled again and see the result were about the same. And the MPA, we really showed up as the best performer we got for linear bench, and that way over the APA Fat Bastard. The concussion angle, on the other hand, is about the same as the Fat Bastard, so you got quite a lot of concussion. It might not be as bad as the APA, but it's really close to. It was also one of the best performers for all the muzzle jump testing, either on tension with the rifle loaded on barricade, and on free recoil, and either 223 and the 6 Creedmoor cases. The MPA prototype is quite interesting. It got really aggressive port. It got really open on the at the top of the muzzle brakes, and it had a lot of opening on it. So it did perform quite well, about the same as the original version for the Creedmoor on the linear bench, and on the muzzle movement, either the free recoil testing or the loaded kind of barricade, we got a muzzle movement that was going down. So it's kind of muzzle jump, but on the other side of what we are used to. So it did muzzle jump down, which is quite interesting depending on what you are looking for. I'll go deeper on that with the conclusion just a bit further, but it got about the same performance as the original one. Alright, so we came to 3 different conclusions after the second day of testing. The first one is that after putting some pressure on the buttstock to simulate loading the rifle into the barricade, we've found that some of the brake performed better, which was to be expected, but others did not. Actually, some did worse when the tension was applied to the buttstock, comparing to the free recoil in term of muzzle jumping. That pushed forward in my mind the concept of a difference between the muzzle brake and a compensator, where the muzzle brake aim at reducing the recoil itself, the compensator look at keeping the muzzle level on recoil. For example, the ACE, the Insight, and the Red Nub brakes all perform better on the free recoil. And about all the others, either the Area 419, APAs, the KDEX, MDT, EC, and so on, perform better with the tension applied on the buttstock, reducing the muzzle movement by about half of what they got with the free recoil result. And over that, the improvement on the PVA, Jet Blast, and Shockwave was about 10 times better when tension was applied compared to the free recoil test. So on this first part, I think we can conclude that there is some brakes that are going to work better on the free recoil kind of shooting, and other that will need a bit of pressure behind the buttstock applied by the shooter to really shine. A lot of modern brake, or maybe I should start saying muzzle device, are made to mix features that brakes and comp have. But I think that our table of content can definitely put them in one or the other category. Now, the second conclusion we came to after testing different cartridge sizes is that some brake looks to be designed to work better with more or less gas going through them, where others did perform the same way overall, a variety of different cases. So muzzle brake that perform way better compared to their average equivalent using the 223 compared to the average of the 6 Creedmoor using about 24 grain of powder, or the ACE with about 115% better performance compared to the overall improvement of all the other brakes, and the KDEX MX1 Mini about 120%, where we have on the other end the MPA prototype that performed better with the Creedmoor cartridges than with the 223 by about 157%, and the PVA Shockwave by about 120%. Those numbers were on the sled, but they apply also to the muzzle movement test with even more gap. 240% increase with the ACE for the 223 in compared to the Creedmoor, 325% improved with the KDEX MX1, 197% improved with the Shockwave, and 176% improved for the MPA prototype. Overall, well, we've been testing all of them. I can show you the result, but those 4 were the best example of brakes that's gonna work way better with certain type of cartridges. The other brake, of course, gave less movement with the smaller cartridges, the 223 Remington. But over all the muzzle brake we've been testing, most of them are keeping the same performance over a different cartridge. But as I said, there is some that really shine with smaller or bigger cases. All right, third and last part of the conclusion we got is about the muzzle down movement we saw and we had with 4 of the muzzle brake we've been testing. Just to clarify, when I say muzzle down, what I mean is that the barrel movement starts by pushing the muzzle down before it goes up. We've been using a slow motion camera and the reticle cam, well, the trigger cam that goes on the scope itself. And when we were looking at frame by frame, we can really see the effect. The more gases going through, the more it did jump down. Those are not big numbers. They're about 2 mils down before they start going up, but it's really interesting as it's not something you usually expect from shooting from barricade. So the 4 muzzle brake, we saw the effect. First of all, we got the ace about 1 mils down before it started jumping up. The Insight Heaton muzzle brake, it did jump about 2 mils down before going up. We also got the Red Knob Custom 420 muzzle brake that was jumping down for about 2 mils. But on this one, you got adjustable top port, and they are quite big. And we saw a huge difference between all of them open and all of them closed. So you can tune the top port to remove this effect. But when they're all open, you got about 2 mils of muzzle down. And finally, we got the MPA prototype that muzzle jumped down for about 3 mils. The main difference with the MPA is that after jumping down, the muzzle doesn't rise, and so we got the about the same amount of movement as the other brakes, but it doesn't jump up, and so the muzzle stabilization was really quick after the shot you take. So that concludes the second day of muzzle brake testing and the video itself. So I'll put all the data, the mix of day 1, day 2, different cartridges, and all the other information you got from the first video, plus the adding of day 2. So the barricade with the loading buttstock and the new concussion angle and stuff like that. So for those who are interested, I'll show them right now. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed the content again. Please let me know if you got any question or if you got any suggestion for a third video. And so on that, I hope you guys enjoy your season so far. Keep shooting and keep having fun. Alright.